Hey guys, welcome to another speed build. I hope you're all having a fantastic day and happy Friday. Today we are over in San Sequoia and I am building a house that was requested by one of my lovely subscribers. And if you do not know, I am more than willing to take requests from you guys and try my best to build them. I may not build every single one depending on what they are, depending if it's something I am good at or not. Okay, I'm not good at everything and I know that. But you guys do have a lot of faith in me and I love that about you guys. And you push me out of my comfort zone. With that being said, this is not too much out of my comfort zone. But I have had some requests a little bit out of my comfort zone that I am still looking into. But this one is a suburban house. I mean, they didn't really specify the type of house, but they did specify that they wanted it for a blended family. And so I figured a suburban house in San Sequoia for a blended family is like absolutely perfect. And so that's what this house is. It is furnished for 8 different Sims. One of those Sims is technically a dog, but I consider pets to be part of the family. And so with that being said, it is furnished for 8 Sims. And the actual Sims that I furnished it for are 2 parents, which have children of their own, of course. That is what a blended family is. They have children of their own, and they met each other after they had children with somebody else. And they may or may not have children together after that. This storyline that I came up with, they did in fact have another child to really complete their family. But with that being said, the mother, she ended up having 2 children before she met her new husband, and same with her new husband. He had 2 kids as well. And the kids that the mom had ended up being a teen girl and then a child boy. And then for the dad, he ended up having a teen boy and a child boy. And they ended up getting married, falling in love. Everybody, gets along for the most part. And they really wanted to add a final piece to their family other than the dog. They did adopt the dog, but as far as like babies and stuff goes, they really wanted to add one more little baby to their family, one that they could share together to really make their family complete and tied together, And so she is actually pregnant and expecting their very last child. And I have a bassinet in the bedroom where the parents are. I figured that's the perfect place for the newborn baby to sleep until it grows to an infant. And upstairs, I already have the infant's nursery all set up, ready to go for when the infant is old enough to go up in the nursery by themselves. So now that I've told you a little bit about today's build, I would like to take a brief second to invite you guys to leave a like on this video if you do find it enjoyable, and also subscribe if you have not already, and also comment down below whatever your favorite part of today's build is, or like I said earlier, if you do have any requests that you would like to see me do, definitely leave them down below. I love to see your requests and I definitely am going to do my best to try and build them. So at this point in the build, we have a really good start on the exterior of this house. At first, I was going to make the shutters on the windows black to match the roof, and I did like it. Looking back at it, it did look good, but I ended up changing it nonetheless. And I do think it looks good changed. I feel like I should have changed the roof color, but you know what? I do love black roofs. Like, there's something about a black roof that I just love. My eyes always go to the black roof. And I literally have a black roof in real life. So I guess that's not true just for The Sims for me. It's true in real life too. I just love the starkness of the black. It just looks so good. And usually with the black shutters, it complements it very well. But for whatever reason on this day, either I was trying to be different or it just wasn't looking good to me. I was kind of going for like a blue theme, as you can see on the outside as well as the inside. There's a lot of blue going on, and I love a good blue Suburban. And it's kind of been a minute since I've done a blue Suburban. I did just do a tiny house that was blue, but that's not the same as like a huge family Suburban, And so I really love the way that those light blue shutters look with the dark blue paneling and then the light blue door. It matches the blue door perfectly. Plus, These windows I'm using from Growing Together have the light blue accent on the inside, so I feel like it all ties together really, really well, especially when you're in game. You can really see the difference in the blues, and it just looks really good. I also love this gray stone on the outside mixed with a blue or even a beige. Like any sort of color that you see in that stone, you see like notes of blue and notes of beige, obviously gray. Any of those colors look really, really good mixed with it. Like if you have the blue paneling or the beige paneling mixed with that stone, it just ties together beautifully. I love to do those combinations. And a large family home, in my opinion, would not be complete without adding a basketball hoop directly on the house. I absolutely love to do this, especially if it's a house full of like athletic kids. And this house has lots of boys that are definitely into developing their motor skill and their athletic skill. And so the basketball hoop is definitely the perfect touch to do that. And I love doing it on like a fake driveway. And then on the inside, I have the actual vehicle for the family. And obviously, the vehicle is not, functional, but I just love the look of it. It just makes it feel more real. And yeah, so the inside does have the garage, the fake garage, but I kept it as a garage. And not only does it have the car in there, but I end up putting the laundry room in there too. I know having a washer and dryer is a little bit, I get, like, controversial is not really the word I'm looking for, but kind of controversial. Some people like it, some people hate it, like absolutely despise it. I'm sorry to say that I'm one of the people that actually love it. And so I do include them in a lot of my builds, but they're super easy. Like if you don't want them, you totally could just delete them, and then your Sims won't have dirty clothing piles everywhere, and then you can delete all the hampers. But if you delete at least the washer and dryer, you could probably leave the hampers and they don't take their clothes off. I haven't actually tried that. Usually if I have hampers, then I have a washer and dryer. But yeah, so if you don't have laundry day, then those items will just not appear. So it's really not the end of the world. I don't have laundry day a lot throughout this build, literally only the washer and dryer, little laundry room area in the garage, and then the hampers. I don't think I used anything else from laundry day throughout the house. But if I'm being totally honest, I did use a lot of other packs in this house. I just kind of went crazy with the packs in this house. I've been doing a lot of base game builds lately and a lot of like limited pack builds that I just wanted to give myself the freedom to use any of the packs that I have, which is most of them, if I'm being totally honest. So yeah, this is definitely pack heavy, but if you don't have, half the packs or most of the packs, then usually what happens is any of the furniture that you do not have is just going to be replaced with something else. And if there's nothing to replace it with, then it's usually just empty. Like the basketball hoop outside, if you don't have city living, you won't have the basketball hoop, and I'm assuming that's not going to be replaced with anything. I'm assuming that that's just going to disappear. But if you have Growing Together, at least the majority of the outside of the house is going to be there. At least like the architecture on the outside of the house, I used Growing Together on like the windows, the front door, the wall paint, and then the shutters are from Horse Ranch. So I mean, the majority of the outside is from Growing Together though. Oh, and then like the columns that have the stone on the bottom, those are also from Growing Together. And so yeah, I mean, I would say at least have Growing Together if you do want to download this. But any of the expansion packs, I tend to use a lot of items from expansion packs. So if you have majority of expansion packs, then you probably could get away with downloading this and not be missing too much. I usually use a lot of the other packs for like clutter in my houses. And you'll see the kitchen is filled with clutter. Kind of the whole house is. And I did that purposely because a large family lives here. I just feel like they would have a lot of clutter everywhere, especially in the kitchen. The kitchen is like the busiest place in the house with how many kids that they have, and I really tried to portray that inside of the kitchen. So I went inside for a little bit to get the floor plan together, and I placed some filler furniture that I think I might want to use, but at the very least to set which room is what, or else I just get all mixed up. And so for right now, though, we're back outside for a little bit. I'm finishing up the windows on the outside, and I'm also going to finish up the backyard area, which is technically the side yard, I guess, but you're probably going to hear me say backyard because that's what I intended it to be. But this is just like a long landscaped lot, and so it has to be on the side. But I kind of like that though. It really like is easy to see everything if it is on the side. I really like the way that this house is positioned on this lot. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned, I mean, you can always see in the top left-hand corner for the most part, unless I start on one lot and move to another lot, but most of the time I don't do that. This is on the 23 Eucalyptus Lane in San Sequoia, and it's just a completely empty lot. There's no houses that are here. I think there's like a singular tree outside, and I deleted it. And so yeah, super easy to find, and this is one of my favorite lots in San Sequoia. I think it is so pretty. The lighting is not the best, I've come to realize, but where it's positioned in the world, I do really like it. And I didn't really mean to do this, but I noticed towards the end of this build, I seen the other house off in the distance that is a playable house. It came with the game. I want to say that a network creator built it, I think. Don't know who, so sorry about that, but I think it was made by like an actual simmer and not the Sims team. And it actually, you know, this house matches it really, really well. And I didn't really even aim for that, but this house, you know, just screams San Sequoia, and I absolutely love that. I got the idea of this house shape on an inspiration picture that I seen on Pinterest. And then as for the yard, I kind of just winged it. I did what I felt like looked good. And I do think it looks really good. I was able to squeeze quite a bit of stuff on this lot. I mean, the house itself is pretty large. And so the lot, it doesn't leave a whole lot of room for the rest of the yard, right? So I really tried to fit as much as I could on how little of space I had. So we do not have any lounge chairs by the pool, and I felt like, you know, I do have floaties in the pool, so if you want your Sims to work on their tan, if you have island living, just make them, you know, sunbathe on the floaties, and it kind of works the same as the lounge chair. I really had to choose between things because of how small this area is, and I figured the family could make use of the monkey bar set a lot more than lounge chairs. The lounge chairs at the end of the day is mainly just for looks, at least in my opinion. I don't usually, like in my gameplay, I don't use them a lot. I usually just like walk past them. Unless I'm trying to get my Sims a tan, even though I don't love the tans in The Sims 4. There's something just off about them. They're a little bit too orangey. The tans in The Sims 2 were done flawlessly. I loved the tans in The Sims 2 because it was like the color was not as orange. It was more just, I don't even want to say bronze because bronze can be orange, okay? It was just a lot better of a color and it wasn't so orange. And so I kind of can't stand The Sims 4 tans for that reason. But, you know, I do like, you know, the realistic aspect of it. It does show tan lines if they're wearing like, you know, an outfit and they try to sunbathe, it's going to have a farmer's tan. And I do love that. I just wish it wasn't like so orange. And so yeah. But like I said, if you do want that aspect of having your Sims get a tan, just have them sunbathe on the floaties I put in the pool and they're able to sunbathe no problem. And then I put what looks like a beach ball in the pool, but in fact it is a horse ball. It's a toy for the horse, but I love the way that it looks like a beach ball. I think it is so stinking cute, especially the rainbow swatches on the floaties and that beach ball are my absolute favorite. I love those swatches. It just really livens up a house, and it's just like perfect for family homes that are colorful already as it is. Like this house is pretty much on the colorful side. And so those floaties just tied it all together. And of course I used the water slide, guys. You think I would build a big family house without using the water slides? No, no, I wouldn't. And I was also able to fit a smaller modular playground out there with a swing set. So they have a relatively large play area out here. They have the monkey bars, they have the modular playground that has the slide and the little like turny block things that are on the side bar of the modular playground, and then they have the swings. And so I really love that. And I also, at the end, I end up putting a few little garden pots throughout the lot out there too. And I used the really pretty white ones that came with businesses and hobbies. It's the one that technically you can make in the pottery table and kiln. But I cheat. I always use bb.show hidden objects and bb.show live edit objects. And I think it's the hidden objects that shows the pottery items. And so yeah, I love the white ones. They're so pretty. They're like glossy and they're gorgeous. They're so much better than the base game pots for sure. But yeah, we're pretty much done with the outside. I do add some last minute items once I finish up the interior, which we're working on now. And so I'll talk more about the outside later in the build when we're finishing up the landscaping and the terrain paint, adding the little garden pots all throughout. And so yeah, we are now over into the kitchen, and like I told you guys earlier, I told you guys that this kitchen is going to be cluttered, and as you can see, it is very cluttered, and I'm not even done yet. Okay, it's argumentative, okay, that I might have added a little bit too much in the kitchen, but like I said, I wanted it to look like a large family lives here, and every single house I've been in that had a lot of kids, that they just have a lot of stuff in the kitchen. They have a lot of like food, they have a lot of appliances, they have a lot of like little jars and like, you know, snacks, cakes, desserts, whatever it is. They have a lot of stuff everywhere in the house, but especially the kitchen, and it just makes it feel so homey. And so I actually really like how much there is in the kitchen. And over in the corner on the left side of the oven, I added that family cookbook, the family recipe one that came, not even with Growing Together, which is so crazy to me, but it came with businesses and hobbies. And I guess can make sense if you make, you know, like if you make excuses, but I feel like it would have been so much better with Growing Together. But anyways, I did put that in the corner. I felt like this is a huge family house that is absolutely perfect to include in this build. And in front of it, I added some like a little set that includes eggs and flour, and it looks like they're baking either some bread or some cookies or whatever it is, they're in the process of making something. And that little piece is actually from Kitchen Clutter Kit, which in my opinion is like the best kit out of them all. Like if you're looking at a kit to get for whatever reason, whether it's on sale or you just want to add something to your game that's not going to like be too expensive, just some items, get the Kitchen Clutter Kit, especially if you're a family player like I am, which you probably are. That's like mainly what I do. So if you're a subscriber, I'm sure you love your family builds. So if that's the case, honestly, I love the Kitchen Clutter Kit. I feel like it is worth the $5, which I know is debatable, but in my opinion it is. I use it all the time. If I'm using like all of the packs in a build, Kitchen Clutter Kit will be used 99% of the time probably. And so I love it. And the fridge that I have in the kitchen as well with all the pretty stickers is from Kitchen Clutter Kit. Like I would probably pay $5 just for that. Okay, I was lying there. I was fibbing on that one, but you guys know what I mean. The Kitchen Clutter Kit is really good though. Like it has a lot of really good items. It's all clutter pieces. Nothing is technically functional, but it really adds a lot to the kitchen. And speaking about the kitchen still, I absolutely love those like navy blue. I think that's the right term for that blue. The counters are so pretty. I love that swatch. Those are from Parenthood, which are some of my favorites in the game. Obviously, we all know I love the new base game counters. Like, those are my absolute favorite. But these were my favorite before those came along. I love how they look. I love their versatility, how versatile they are. They come in a lot of really good different swatches, and I love this blue swatch. I don't use it that often just because it's so just stark, and it's a lot. Like, you definitely have to make sure you plan for it, and it only fits in certain houses. And I feel like this house with the tile that I'm using, it fits perfectly. So I really took this opportunity to go ahead and use that blue color. I think it is just so pretty with the light countertops, and the dark blue on the bottom is so pretty. And just the design itself definitely, you know, screams families, which it is from Parenthood. So of course it's gonna look like a family house or like family kitchen counters, but you guys know what I mean on that. And I especially love the island counters, specifically the curved ones that I used in this kitchen. I love how it has the open slots on the bottom, but they're pre-filled, so it saves me time. And it's so much easier than like filling them up myself. A lot of the other counters, if I use the curved islands, I have to fill the clutter myself if it has like open slots, which, you know, at least you can customize it yourself, but it takes a lot more time. And honestly, it's kind of hard to put items in those open island counters and make them look good and not make them look too messy, you know? So it definitely, I do love having it pre-filled for sure. It just kind of looks better. It looks like it's made to be that way, which technically it is. So yeah, that's basically all there is to say about the kitchen. I am working on the master bedroom now, and specifically the master bathroom. And as you can see, I am doing what I did a couple of builds ago where I've been doing this a lot lately actually. I have the two shower heads, like the his and her shower heads, sectioned off in a different area, and I have a platform down to give that detail that it's like a separate shower. And then of course I have that whole area tiled, and in front of it I put curtains. I do end up removing the curtains that are tied, which I think it looks so nice, don't get me wrong, but I can't stand the way it's clipping through the wall. You see it right there clipping through the wall? Yeah. I kind of hate that. Once I go decorate the master bedroom, I realize it, and I'm like, oh no, we can't have that. I tried to figure out a way to hide it, but with it being in that spot right there, it's just so obvious. And what could I put there to hide it? There's literally nothing. Unless it's like a super tall bookcase, but the way I have the bed and the end tables, a bookcase wasn't gonna look right. So I decided to do away with those tied up curtains. But I do play test that bathroom. I play tested it, and I do have to like move it around a little bit. I really love the layout, so it sucks the fact that I had to move it around, but I found out that I was able to place the toilet kind of halfway into the wall as far as it would go, and my sim was finally able to go around it and take a shower in there. So that's pretty much the only thing I had to do to change that bathroom. And so the toilet, you'll see, is pretty far into the wall, but it's fine. At least it's functional. And other than that, it was pretty much completely functional. That was the only issue, was the toilet that was there. I also could have removed that bathroom like hutch that's there, but I love that bathroom hutch. I think it adds such a nice detail, and so I was trying to figure out a different way I could make the bathroom functional, and that's how I came across the toilet situation. So we are over into the master bedroom now, and I do end up noticing that the door is kind of hovering because I have a platform up a level in the room leading to the master bedroom. So I do end up fixing that shortly, so just to let you know about that. And then I then have to adjust the bathroom a little bit, but not too much. I'm glad that I noticed it because I absolutely hate how it's hovering there. Sometimes it has to happen that way. If the layout just happens that way, it is what it is. I try to ignore it, but I try to fix it if all possible, and it was possible here. That was a mistake of mine. I really didn't notice that until I did when I was doing the master bedroom. So I'm sticking with the same blue thing that I have throughout the house in the master too, and I absolutely love this rug that is from Backyard Stuff. Well, not all of the swatches. Some of them are questionable, but a few of the swatches are absolutely gorgeous. It's like no in between. They're either pretty, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever, or they're kind of horrendous. And like I said, there's no in between. This is one of the beautiful ones. I love this one. All of the floral ones I like, but all of the bold ones, I'm not too crazy about. But I do love this one. It's one of my favorites. The blues and the greens just go so well with each other. And like I said earlier, I did put the bassinet here in the master bedroom so that when the baby does come along, it's nice and easy to get up at night for the parents and go over and take care of the baby's needs. And then when the baby does age up in literally like 2 days, there is a nursery ready to go for them upstairs. As for the careers for both of the parents, I was actually thinking in my mind as I was building this that both of them were teachers and they met at work at their teaching job. I just think that is so adorable to think about, and they don't really need a whole bunch of like career skill building items since they are teachers. I do have like a logic table or chess table. I always call it a logic table. A chess table, I have one of those outside. That's kind of all that they need, maybe charisma, which you can use at a mirror. So I figured they have some hobbies on the side that they both enjoy. So I put an easel in their master bedroom as well as a guitar. And obviously you guys can choose which one likes what hobby. I mean, maybe they like both, but in my mind, I thought what I came up with was like super adorable. So up in the teens room, the teen girl specifically, I actually put a keyboard in her room, and I figured her stepdad is the one that loves to play guitar between the two parents. And that is one of the things that really bonded those two together, is the love of music. Like, he plays his guitar while she plays her keyboard, and it just was like just such a cute little detail that I thought about as building. And I just think it's kind of perfect. Like, they bond over their love of music, and I think that's so cute. Like, she's kind of a standoffish teen as it is. She likes to hang out with her friends. She's not super family oriented as of now. And so her stepdad was kind of worried about how to bond with her, just like any new step-parent would. Of course, the mom felt the same way about his kids, but he was kind of concerned about her because she is so standoffish. And once he learned that she loves to play the keyboard, he knew that was the perfect thing to bond them. We are now working on the garage, and I have a woodworking table in here. I could totally see one of the parents doing some woodworking, and right next to it, I have a mental table for the kids. And I just think it is so adorable to think about one of the parents working on the woodworking bench while one of the children is working on their mental table. And it's kind of like, you know, a parent-child little bonding station right there. I just think that's so cute. And I struggled with what to put on the walls above, especially the mental table. Above the woodworking table, I love always, every time I do this in my garage especially, I love to put the little wooden hearts that are from Outdoor Retreat. It just looks like that is perfect to put there. It looks like they made it at that woodworking table. Obviously, it's not actually something you can make at the table, but we can use our imagination on that one. I just think it is such a cute touch, and I love the rainbow swatch, especially for a colorful family home. It's like perfect. So as for the mental table on what to put above that, I came up with the idea of putting a whiteboard above it. And there's a couple different like swatches you can choose from. There's either a calendar on there with different like swatches of frames, and then there's also some that has like a map of some like country or neighborhood. It kind of looks like a country to me. I don't know. I'm not the best at identifying different countries, but I think it's not a real country, okay? I think it's just like some fake one that they made up. But I take it as they are traveling to different areas in that country and they're kind of marking the areas that they've been to. I don't know, that's kind of what it like looks like to me. That's what I thought of anyways. I thought that was kind of a cute detail. And so yeah, I ended up just plopping that above the mental table and I called it a day. And then on the other side I have the laundry room that I was telling you about earlier with different laundry day items, and I put like some dog food bags in the corner. And then of course that little like van, the family van, it looks like that's the one, at least in my mind, I like to think that it has 3 different rows of seats in there, and so it should be plenty of room for the family. They have 1 vehicle and that's all that they need. They like to walk to their destination. They like to save money on gas and maintenance of cars, and they like to stay healthy, and so they like to walk. And really they have no choice because they can't drive anyways. But we are now working on the living room. I did already get the dining room done as well. It came together pretty quickly and I'm really happy with the way it came out. I think it's super cute and definitely fits the blue vibe we've got going on, and perfect for the size of family. I really wanted to make sure that I included 8 chairs at the dining table so that they could all sit there at once, if you're able to get them to sit there at once anyways. I always like to try to do that in my like gameplay, especially if I have a family. I try my hardest to make sure that they all sit there. Something that I will do is drag the plate of food all the way over to the table and then have them grab it from the table, and they should all sit down. If not, then you can always drag the food over there and then all make them sit at a specific spot. Back in the day when I was younger and I played The Sims 2 especially, I would make them sit in the same exact spot every day, but listen, I don't have time to remember whose spot is where. So just make them sit in any spot, and then once they're sitting, you can make them grab food, and they should grab it as they're sitting. Most of the time it works. Maybe not every time, but most of the time. And then I have the little high chair for the little baby off in the back. I figured it fit perfectly in that spot that I put it, so that's kind of where I figured would be the best spot. And then I could have the dining chairs in every single slot on the dining table. I sometimes will add the high chair at the table, and sometimes it looks a little wonky, and I really like not doing that if I can help it. And then sometimes it does look fine, so it really just depends on the mood I'm in, I guess. And this day I liked the way it looked back in the back by the hall table that I put there. And as for the living room, it is a simple living room. If you want to, I usually do this for like infants, if there's an infant in the house and the infant's crib is upstairs. A lot of the time in the living room where I put those 2 like single chairs with the end table in between them, instead of doing that, I find it really useful to put like that not the bassinet, but the crib that almost looks like a playpen. Like a playpen in real life, how it's easy, well, not easy. If you've ever done it, it's really not easy. It's kind of a pain, but you can take it down and put it up supposedly at ease, easier than a real crib anyways. And it just looks like it's plastic and cloth, you know? And there's a specific one in base game that looks just like that, and I like to place that down in my living room so that when the infant is ready for a nap, your sim doesn't have to go all the way upstairs to put them in their crib for the nap. They can actually put them in that playpen looking crib downstairs in the living room. It's just like easier to get to. So a good idea, if that sounds good to you and easier for you to play with the infant, then totally delete those chairs or just put them in your family inventory and put a playpen crib there instead. And it just makes it so much easier to put the infant down for a nap. And then you could like put the blocks in either I can't remember if infants can have inventories. I want to say that they cannot. But you can always put it in one of the parents' inventories, or just like drag it downstairs and leave it in the living room. Some blocks for the infant to play with. And then you can also drag and place the big stuffed animals now, which is super nice. And You can also click and drag the little like play mat for the infants too. So you could always click and drag whatever one of those items you want the infant to use down in the living room. And then maybe if you want to tidy up at night or whatever, you could always click and drag it into someone's inventory or back up into the infant's room. That's something that I like to do during my gameplay. It just feels super realistic, and then you don't have to constantly go upstairs and downstairs for the infant, and the thought of the infant being locked down to their room all the way upstairs just doesn't sit right with me. And so I just like to have them down in the living room where they're actually being watched. Kind of more realistic that way. And one other thing about the living room, on the big sectional that I have there, I do end up going back towards the end of the speed build at some point. I do add some pillows there, and it just ties it all together. It makes the sectional look so much more detailed, and I really love the way that I put the pillows on there. But we are upstairs, and I already have this upstairs bathroom done. We actually have 2 bathrooms upstairs, it's pretty much the same as the ones you've seen downstairs. I mean, there's not really much to say about it, but I do want to talk about this teens room a little bit, because how stinking cute did this teens room come out? I don't know, guys. You know me, I don't like to toot my own horn, but at the same time, I tend to toot it a lot. And I really love the way that I do teens rooms. I think I do teens rooms really, really well. Probably because I'm living vicariously through it. I never really was able to have a really nice, super decorated room as a teen. I mean, towards the end, I kind of did, but not like this. As a teen, I always wanted a really cute room, and so I tend to go overboard on my teens rooms here in The Sims, and this one is no different. I think this one just turned out so cute. I love the color scheme. I chose this bed from one of the kits, the kit that Plumbella did. I don't remember. It's cute something or something like that. That chair's from it as well, and that like pink checkerboard rug. I know there's a lot of like prints and patterns going on in here, but it kind of works for a teen's room. She's really into like music and stuff, and so I try to portray that in her room. She really loves creativity and practicing her creativity skill, any sort of creativity skill, whether it's painting, music, writing, video games, whatever it is. If it's creative, she absolutely loves it. And so she likes to express her personality decorating her room. And I think it turned out just really well. And I do have quite a bit of platforms going on in there. As you can see, I did play test to make sure your sim could actually get in the bed, and that's an adult sim. So yes, any sim of all ages will be able to get up on those platforms. And I also made her test that dresser that was in there because it's super close to the bed in front of it, and she was able to change. So everything in there is functional. Unless I missed something, because I am not perfect, but everything I thought to check works. So that's good. That's always a plus. And yeah, so we're working on the nursery now. But before I talk about the nursery, even though this turned out really good too, I'm using that wallpaper from the same kit that Plumbella did that I got the bed from. Before I forget though, I love to add the storytelling aspect of adding like that trellis ladder outside going down the balcony. You know, there's a couple of teens in this house, and I absolutely love that storytelling aspect of the teens using that trellis to like sneak out at night. And it's nowhere near their parents' room, and so it's like literally perfect for them to do that and not get caught doing it. I do like, you know, making them get caught because it adds like a fun little storyline. And if you have parenthood, you could probably ground them if it's past the curfew, which I didn't add the curfew whiteboard, so dang. If you have parenthood, you should totally add the whiteboard. That would make it actually functional to be able to ground them, because I want to say that your parents, the parents of the teens, they can scold them if they get caught, but they don't actually ground them unless it's past curfew and you need parenthood to make it past curfew. So yeah, I should have added that somewhere in the kitchen or one of the hallways or upstairs here where I put an additional computer desk. I also put a game table up there, but we're not on the hallway right now. So yeah, that would be such a good touch to add. I can't believe I forgot to add it. If I remember, I'll add it somewhere, but we'll see. We'll see if I remember or not. But yeah, like I was saying, I did work on the infant's room and I decorated it for a girl. I just thought that was a cute idea since there's so many boys in this house already. I figured let's do a cute pink nursery, but obviously you could make whatever baby your Sims end up having because you can't really choose the gender unless you have MC Command Center. So yeah, I decorated it that way, but you can change it to whatever you want. And I put all the necessities in there. I put a cute dollhouse, I put the crib, obviously, and I've been on a kick of adding the crib like long ways. And then putting like end tables on each side like a normal bed would look. And I think it is just so cute doing it that way. And then I could put lamps on each side. And it just makes it feel like a complete room. I don't know. I've just really been enjoying doing that lately. I, of course, have a changing table and then some additional, like, toys and skill building items for the infant. I did put a grabby mat in there so you could transfer that downstairs when they are downstairs. And that's really about it. Everything's pretty self-explanatory in there. I'm working on the children's room, and like I said earlier, I was thinking one of the boys is from the dad and then the other one is from the mom. So they're not twins, but they are pretty much exactly the same age, and they just so happen to be into a lot of the same stuff and they get along very well. They're like instantly best friends. So they wanted to share a room and it was perfect because now they're expecting a baby. And so someone had to share a room with somebody. And so it's the kids. They're now sharing a room, but they don't mind it at all. It's like a sleepover every night for them. They absolutely love it. So there are a lot of different skill building items for the kids. I also included a couple of like school projects for them. And so there is a creativity table in their room. Of course, down in the garage, there's that mental table. And then outside, there's the monkey bars and the playground out there. And then they can just talk to each other to raise their social skill. They didn't really need a stuffed animal, but if they want one, there's one in the infant's room. They can just go in there and they can talk to the stuffed animal if they want. I also included one of those butterfly, like grow your own butterfly aquarium net homes right next to the bed. They seem like they would be super outdoorsy and active kids. They also love to play basketball outside with their older brother. And so I figured having that little caterpillar thing would be perfect. And they also have a hamster in there. I love to add those hamster cages in my kids' room. I think it's so cute. It reminds me of my childhood. I had like three hamsters growing up, and 1 out of 3 was nice. The other 2, not so much. I think it's like the luck of the draw with hamsters. They're either like super nice or they bite you all the time. There's no in between. It all depends on their upbringing and their life before you had them. So you just gotta hope for the best. And I gave each of the kids their own imaginary friend doll too, and I put it on their bed. I think that's so cute. I did that a couple of builds ago, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be functional, but I was actually surprised to see that it was. And so now that I know that it's functional and your kids can actually sleep on the bed next to it, it's so cute. It's like, perfect. It doesn't even really clip at the end of the day. Maybe a little tad bit, but you see, and I had my Sim go and sleep on the bed with the stuffed animal imaginary friend on there, and she was actually able to sleep, so that was awesome. And it almost looked like she was cuddling with it, so I just think that's cute. We got the teen boys room done too, and he is like super into sports. He's actually on the football team at the high school, but he also just loves to play basketball outside too. Anything that has to do with his fitness skill, working out, going jogging, playing basketball, football, whatever, soccer, whatever it is, if it's active, he loves to do it. He also loves to play video games every once in a while, specifically if it's nighttime or if it's raining outside or if he's not feeling too well. He likes to play on his game system inside. I have a little like PlayStation by the TV, and I also have that computer in there for him too. And above the computer, I put one of those posters, the framed posters that is from the Man Cave Casanova Cave kit, and tell me how there's a few swatches with cars on there. I'm telling you guys, I don't know if I've mentioned this before or not, but I've had it in my mind for a while. I think that is a hint for cars. I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous of how the cars are going to be for The Sims. And yes, they do hints. They do it all the time. Like, you'll see a lot of the newer like packs, the previous pack or two before the new pack came out will have a hint in there. It happened, I don't know, it happened before. I don't have any on the top of my mind, but trust me, it happens more times than it doesn't. Like, oh, for instance, cottage living. Dream home decorator was like, it came out a pack or two before cottage living did, and that big tent for the kids had a swatch that had like farm animals on there. So that's like an example. So you cannot tell me that poster that has two different cars on it is not a hint for cars. I'm telling you guys, I'm calling it right now. We're gonna get cars soon. I really feel it in my soul. I don't know, I just feel it. Especially with everything that's going on in the Sims community right now. I feel like they're gonna try to push that out, but hopefully they do it well so it doesn't make people even more mad, you know? So yeah, I really hope they turn out well. We'll see though, we'll see. But we are back outside finishing up the exterior of this house. We are completely done inside. I really love the way that the inside turned out. And on the front porch, I ended up adding a couple of benches and then I put some pillows on those benches. I've been doing that a lot lately too. I just think it's such a cute touch. And you can customize it to whatever color the outside of your house is. So I feel like it's perfect. And I love the way this little backyard area turned out. And I do play test it and it's completely functional. Those monkey bars are functional. The playground over in the left corner where the tree is functional. My toddler and child was actually able to play on that modular playground with those slides. So I just think it's came out so perfect. But at this point we are pretty much done. I'm just finishing up some last minute terrain paint, and other than that, that is the speed build for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Of course, if you did, please do not forget to leave a like and also subscribe if you have not already. And like I said, comment down below what your favorite part of today's build is, or maybe if you have any requests, feel free to leave them down below as well. And share this video with your friends if they are Simmers as well. I appreciate each and every one of you guys so much, more than you would ever know. Like, words cannot even describe. I hope you all have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Have a great weekend, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.